Boom, and we're live. Jacob, the drummer from Israel. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Dude, it's a pleasure to be with you, brother. It's nice to almost like
Yeah.
reconnect.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. With technology, we can be on the other side of the world and jam in the pocket just like this. Pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, awesome, man. So, I want to jump right into it. I want to get to know you a little bit better. You know, we've hung out many times in Israel. We've jammed. We've done gigs together. And I want to get a little bit deep diving into the pocket of Jacob, the drummer's mind, understanding what makes you tick, how you view music, how you view drums. So let's hop right into it. My first question for you is that what does it mean to you to be a musician?
It's a great question. It's a really great question. I think what it means is to be able to express yourself musically, however that may play out,
Mm,
and to be able to create what you want to create and collab with whoever you want to collab with in a musical sense.
interesting. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that it's like for you it's like a way to connect. Like you can it's a way to connect and a way to express yourself in the world, but mainly with other people. Is that what you're saying? Like
Yeah,
collab with people, it's a way to interact.
sure. And it's a way to express yourself, an emotion, a feeling,
Mm,
um, you know,
yeah,
it's
I feel that. And
all,
that's
all
something
the
that I've
all the
been,
above.
yeah, emotions, feelings, thoughts, imaginations. And so the thing about drums, tell me if you relate to this, but with drums, it's like you don't really get to play a tune with drums. So like you play guitar, you could kind of portray like a sad emotion with the minor chords and then a happy emotion with the major chords. But with drums, it's like you just got rhythm. There's like beats. And so it's like a little bit more complicated on how to actually portray a feeling or an emotion in the drums. You know what I'm saying?
Totally, totally. As drummers, we're holding it down, and we need other people to play with. So
Yeah,
it's we're in a unique situation.
it's true. Yeah, drumming is definitely a team sport. Drums on its own is, there's a place for drums on its own, like drum circles or drum solo. But as a musician, we very much, like you said, we hold it down. We're the foundation for the other musicians to stand on and to create within. So I find as a drummer, I kind of take on the emotions of the band, or, you know, as the band or the singer is portraying his vibe, I'm backing that up. So
Hmm.
it's almost like the drummer is holding it down, but he's also just along for the ride.
Mm, I like that. I like that. It's almost like, yeah, like what you're saying, the absorber, but you're also, you're like the listener to everyone. If the bass player needs something more, you give him a little more. The guitar player, the singer, of course, you're really tapping into everyone there and trying to make everyone comfortable and vibe and gel and sound the best that they can. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of see being a drummer as like we're the hosts of the music. Like we're hosting the band, but we're not controlling. We're kind of just vibing with the band, like somebody who makes a party in their own house, but they're just joining the party too. They're not running the party, they're not necessarily leading the party. They're just hosting, and then they get to jump in and enjoy the party with whoever's at the party.
Right. Right.
Yeah, man.
I like it.
It's pretty cool.
That's
It's
awesome.
it's actually it's definitely a unique opportunity to be a drummer and a musician, but specifically a drummer.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. We're definitely not the ordinary folk, I find. You know.
Yeah, yeah. We're a little bit out there.
But I want to throw the question back at you. Actually, what are your thoughts? Like, what does a musician mean to you?
Okay, so I'm actually delving deep in within myself these days and getting deeper into what it means to be a musician. because as I pursue a career in music, I find that the pursuit itself is asking me to dive deeper, and I need to have deeper levels of dedication to music to actually make music my career. So what I've been discovering is that being a musician is, first and foremost, it's being a creator, and it's also being an entertainer and a performer. And so when we're talking about creating original music, you're very much a creator. You're very much in this mind space of like, what can we do here? What can we create? And then there's about the intentions, like, what do I want to create? What's my message in the music? And that's something that I've been discovering for myself a lot. What's my message as a musician? What is my message to the world? Because like you said, we're expressing ourselves. But what is it that you're expressing? In the early stages of musicianship, it's just about playing and getting out there and learning beats and learning stuff. But then when you refine yourself as a musician, as a real artist, the question becomes, what are you expressing? What's your message? And so my message so far has been about celebration. Celebrate life is my message. And so I like to make celebratory music, but not necessarily only like dance, disco music, but I like the music that I play to have an undertone of celebration. Like, life is awesome. This is beautiful. Music is beautiful. And we're striving for excellence and for amazing experiences. Music is an experience, and I like that experience to be a celebration of life.
Okay.
So that's the creation aspect, and then the performance aspect is very much, smiling on stage, doing cool tricks, embodying that drummer spirit that people come to see when they watch a show. When they look at the drummer, they're expecting that drummer vibe. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I like how you're breaking it down. Because a lot of people, maybe have technical chops. They could play different time signatures, whatever it may be, but they're lacking the entertaining side, which is crucial, really, if you want to be, in the industry and playing and doing it for real. So I think they're both totally critical aspects of being a musician, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm there with you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I like that you said entertaining. It's so true. Like, music is entertainment these days. And you know what? The truth is, there are deeper levels of music, and I wanted to get into that with you too. But music hasn't always been entertainment, and it's still, in some places and within certain cultures, music is more of a ritual or a worship even.
Sure.
A way to express worship towards God or towards your higher power or whatever it is that you're worshiping.
Oh yeah.
Music is a way to really reach for something beyond, because music is beyond.
Oh yeah.
Something beautiful I heard about music is that music is about having different elements fit together to make something greater than the sum of its parts. So each individual note, let's say each note of the violin, is pretty insignificant on its own, and each hit of the drum is insignificant on its own. But when the bass guitar and the violin and the drums are weaving together in harmony, then music is born, and there's an experience that's beyond words and beyond even physicality.
Yeah. Oh,
it's a
100%.
It's a transcendent experience.
Yeah, I mean, they say how people would get prophecy is they would, they'd be playing music, and that's how they would get prophetic visions. There's so much on the topic, and there's so much to learn, the history of music. And
Have you delved into that? Have you studied any of that stuff?
I've touched upon it a little bit, but not as much as I would like to. So, but they also had music at in the temple, in the Beit HaMikdash. That was the Levium would play, and that was a way for for the person bringing the korban, be able to really connect to God and to connect to the, you know, their consciousness, you know, to tap in. So
Yeah, I actually heard something really cool about that. In the temple, the band was so tapped in and so present that they were able to play whatever music the person who was bringing the sacrifice, they were able to play the music that that person needed at that moment in order for them to come to their pure state, you know, to come to repentance or whatever it is that they were there for.
sure.
So the band knew each person's specific place in life and what they liked, and they played what that person needed to hear.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
deeper level of musician, right? That's music as service and music as medicine,
Right.
which is definitely also talked about in some interesting books. There's an interesting book written by the drummer from the Grateful Dead, and he delved deep into drums. He was a real drummer, you know, like explorer.
Mm.
And he talks in the book about the shamans using drums as a way to get into alternate states of consciousness and higher states and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
definitely a lot to explore, and I'm on the beginning of my journey of exploring this stuff, and I'm excited to uncover the power of drums and music.
Yeah. Yeah. The journey awaits us.
Yeah, man, and I see you as a spiritual drummer. You know, I see you as a spiritual man first of all, and then the way you play and the gigs that you choose to play at, you come at it with soul, you come at it with heart, and so this is very much a journey that I think you would appreciate too.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Well, thank you. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really about that, I find. You know, I mean, the people that I really love are people that play with a lot of heart and a lot of soul, and it's about how they make me feel rather than like, wow, you know, that's so fast, or that's, you know, what type of
Mm,
odd time signature is that? It's really about the feeling and the emotion. Um, so yeah, you're on the money, man.
sweet. Yeah. So getting in a little bit more into your personal life, how does drumming add or affect your personal life? And how do you apply what you learn on the drums to your personal life?
Yeah, that's a really great question. It's a really good question. I don't know if I have a good answer. I don't know, man. I'll throw it back at you. Actually, I'm curious on how that, you know, how that applies to your life.
Yeah, so I talk about this on my YouTube channel. I actually have a video called Personal Development Through the Drums. And the it's based on the concept that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So the way that you brush your teeth is the same way that you're gonna drive a car. And the way that you drive your car is the same way that you treat your friends. And the way that you practice drums is going to be the same way that you act within business, you know,
Interesting.
because everything that you do is a result of who you are, and who you are is made up of your perspective and your attitude towards life. So let's say a lazy person is going to be lazy in their drum practice, and they're also going to be lazy when it comes to cleaning the room, and lazy when it comes to showing up to work on time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Sure.
I like to approach things with that in mind of like, I'm doing something, and regardless of how small or insignificant it may seem, but the way I approach this is the way I'm approaching life in general. So I'm going to treat everything as if it's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when I sit down to the drums, I like to make it a ritual. I like to make it meaningful. I'd like to make depth behind it and actually dedicate intentional time to improve in the areas that I want to improve. And
I
that's the
like that.
same way I live my life. I live my life in the same way. When I wake up, I like to be intentional about my day. I like to be ritualistic with my day. You know, I start off with my morning routine with the yoga and the breathing and a little bit of prayer. You know, so I like to approach everything in that same way. And so when I sit down by the drums, I consciously realize that I'm not just sitting down by the drums to have fun and bang around, but I'm actually developing myself as a person. The way I approach this drum session is gonna be the way that I approach life.
It's a great answer, man. I really like that. I really like that. One thing that I saw on one of the videos in your channel was, you know, you sit down on the kit and you know, these guys are your friends. You know, they're there to help you, and you know, maybe do a little talk or whatever it is, and just really be conscious of what you're doing. And there's levels to that, but start, you know, diving in deeper and deeper. And I think that's the best way to approach it. I think that's
yeah, cool. The way we add meaning to things as human beings, we're able to give meaning to anything that we want. You know, I have this water bottle here. To me, it could mean just a bottle of water, but I could also start thinking about how water gives life, and this can save a person's life. You know, or this can help grow a plant. Like, you know, we can give meaning to something, and so I like to give meaning to things in my life that I love. Give meaning to drums. You know, I say sometimes, like you said, my friends, sometimes I say my drums are my tribe. And I'm the tribal leader, you know, and we get a little bit jungle fever in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, that's great. You know, it definitely is an expression of your personality. You know, any musician, you know, guitar player, bass player, drummer, whatever it may be. You know, at the end of the day, they're expressions of what's going on in our soul, and
Yeah.
it translates. It really does. I think that's very profound.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, Jacob, do you have a favorite drummer?
I don't have one favorite drummer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How about you?
But let me hear some of the names, though. So who are some of your inspirations? Some of the people you look up to?
So you know, when I was younger, I was really into, you know, rock and roll. You know, so drummer of Green Day, Trey Cool, and you know, Chad Smith and Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins, and all those guys were like my you know the reason why I started playing the drums, you could say, Ki'ilu. And then, you know, it transitioned into guys like Vinny Caliuta and guys like Steve Gadd, and now I'm really into like Benny Greb and Jojo Mayer. I know who you like, both those guys quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then guys, you know, like Steve Jordan, who plays with John Mayer, and Nate Smith. Just real pocket guys, just you know, tight in the pocket, not too flashy, whatever it may be. So yeah, it's
cool. Yeah, you named you got a good roster right there.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of people out there, you know. There's
a lot
guys,
of great
you
drummers.
know, yeah.
They're cool. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, Jojo Mayer and Benny Greb, they're just like really expressive drummers, really cool, like experimental drummers. You can learn a lot just by watching them.
Yeah.
Just by watching them play, you know, like I'm sure both of them have like classes that they've given or different videos on tips of what they do, but you can learn just from watching them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly don't either have a favorite drummer. Like, it's always shifting. It's always, you know, it's always shifting. I'm always, you know, depending on where I am and what I'm exploring, there's different inspirations that I have. But I always like to say this at the risk of sounding, you know, egotistical or self-centered, but I'm my favorite drummer.
Okay.
You know, I play what I love, and I love to have fun on the drums, and I love to express and explore deeply. Like, I'm my favorite drummer, you know? I'm not the best drummer, there's many drummers that are better than me that I look to for inspiration, but my favorite drummer in the world is me. I gotta,
Yeah,
just the truth.
yeah. I think that's really awesome, man. And I think that's, ultimately should be that person, because being the best you could be meaning you're the best, really.
Mm,
We could take inspiration from other people, but really, higher power, Hashem, whatever you may believe in, that's what he wants for us, and that's ultimately what we want for ourselves. I think deep down inside is to be the best version of who we of who we can be. So yeah, I'm there with you.
yeah, yeah, and we end up with like we are the sum total of the people that we look up to and the people that we strive to be. So, Jojo Mayer might be great and Nate Smith is awesome. And I extract those good parts that I like from each of them. And now I have like a mixture of both of them. So it's like I come with this unique I am the sum total of all the things that I love and look up to.
Yeah, yeah,
It's pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah, man. There's a lot out there. There really is. I feel like nowadays it's like, who's your favorite drummer? There's so many. It's so you take inspiration. I don't know about you, but for me, I love really all styles of music. So, I pull from really everyone, and there's a lot coming our way, and there's a lot out there to
Yeah.
to tap into.
Yes, and that makes me think of the fact that there's a lot out there to listen to, and there's also a lot of out there to give into, like as a drummer, as a musician, um, we there's a lot of opportunity for musicians out there. Whatever style that you want to play, I'm sure there's people that are looking for a drummer of that style, you know, some jazz fusion, jazz punk band is looking for a drummer that's just hits that spot.
Yeah, man. If you're into math rock, you know what I'm saying? There's probably some
Math rock. Yeah, like what's that band? What's that band that
Polyphia,
math rock?
Polyphia, or
Polyphia, yeah, yeah.
those guys. Just
Those
like,
guys are great.
yeah,
I love it. I love what they're doing.
yeah, that's cool.
They're pushing the envelope of math music.
Yeah, yeah,
Yo, so I know that you have this thing going called the beat of the day, and every day you post a video with the beat of the day, and you just put it out there for the people. I want to know what's that about? Like, where do you get that idea from, and what's the purpose of that? Why do you do that?
yeah. So it started with, I wanted just to get content out, and I was like, okay, well, how can I do that? I don't have Instagram anymore. I don't have Facebook. My only social media, you could say, is WhatsApp. So okay, I just decided, like, I really love beats. I'm not so much of like a fill guy, or I'm more of just like in the groove pocket. That's more my style. So I decided, okay, let me just post a beat every day, and by doing that, it would push me to be more creative and to come up with
Mhm.
a new type of groove every day. So if I'm like, man, I can't figure it out, whatever, then okay, I'll do something that maybe I know, and it just pushes me to become more creative and better on the drums.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, and I always enjoy watching your beat of the day. It's always there's some twist. It's not your regular, 4/4, just boring beat.
Yeah,
Something interesting.
yeah. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. So, do you have any goals in terms of drums? Are you striving towards being in a certain type of band or making it to a certain level in drums?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, right now I'm studying with a teacher in Tel Aviv. So I go to him once a week, and I practicing a lot more than I used to. I used to never practice, just self-taught and just jammed, and but now I'm a little more kavua, and really taking things seriously, which I'm really happy about. And for me, I would say, playing weddings is something I really, really enjoy. And I think we both have that in common, just
Yeah.
high energy. Um, just out there jamming. You're playing different styles of music. It could be you're playing a bossa nova at dinner, or some jazz thing or blues, and then you're getting to rock and disco. I mean, you're really all over the place. And and besides for weddings, I would say to play with some bigger artists in Israel or outside of Israel. Be able to play with different artists that inspire me, or uh, people that approach me. Maybe I don't know, but that's the future goal, to get to that higher level.
Nice. Love it, man. And I bless you to reach those goals and beyond.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
man.
Amen.
Yeah, nothing like a wedding gig. Wedding gigs are a special kind of energy. Like you said, you play the different styles, and then when the dancing comes in, it's all drums. Everyone's dancing to the beat. The drummer's full on. You're revving it up to like 110%.
Crank it to 160, man. You're just
Yeah, and then
you're
like
just
there's those
going.
moments during the gig where it's just like, oh my God, like I'm dying here, but I gotta keep going because it's only like 10 minutes left to the dance.
Right. Right. Or
People
the
don't
worst part.
realize
Yeah. Go
what
ahead.
the drummer is going through, you know, and you got to just sit there and smile, like, yeah, this is great, but my foot's killing.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
hands are locking up. I've had that before, where I forget to practice or do rudiments, whatever it is I'm doing, and then I'm like, oh shoot, my hands are and call for help. But you gotta
Yeah,
just power
yeah, you gotta
through
you
it.
gotta have Sella on the scene.
Yeah. How about
Hold on
you,
one
man?
second.
What's your no worries.
Gotta get this. My charger is. I don't know. Okay.
You good?
Yeah. So for me, my goals are similar actually to create my own wedding band. I've been wanting to do that for a long time now. Make my own wedding band with my own style. I have a unique idea for wedding band music, and I love playing weddings. It's like that celebration vibe that I was talking about earlier.
Mhm.
Just being in a celebration scene and being at the center of the dance, at the dancing. Everyone's dancing to my beat, and you just see people happy. People are dressed nice. There's good food. I would love to have my own wedding band and then eventually get flown around the world playing at like awesome weddings. That's my
Nice.
goal in terms of wedding music, and I want to be part of a band. I've been looking for musicians to collab with, and I want to be part of a band that plays originals, a jam band, but like real high quality jam band that plays all over the world in the biggest stages, Red Rocks, Madison Square Garden. Like I want to play big festivals with an original band. That's my
Nice.
dream. Yeah, that's my big goal as a drummer, and want to make a full career out of drums, and actually open up a drum company that sells drums. That's also a goal of mine. I want to
Okay.
make custom drums.
Nice. Cool,
Yeah,
man. Maybe
yeah. I
I'll
actually found out that there's a guy in Philadelphia who teaches how to make cymbals from scratch. He has a workshop on what kind of metals to use, how to cut them, how to like etch them with different engravings and hammer hits to give a specific sound. And that's something that really interests me, and I'm gonna sign up for that course and go over there and learn how to make cymbals. So that'll be my
Nice,
first
man.
step into custom drums.
Nice, bro. Nice. Well, I bless you, man, that all your dreams in drumming should come true. And um, it's funny, like Simba cymbals, man. That could be a
Yeah.
little thing, man. I get my 1% in
Yeah, listen, you get your branding cut.
that.
But yeah, trust me, I've been on that thought process and creating the brand around the name Simba. So
Cool.
definitely on the right track there.
Most definitely. I also think for me, teaching could be a
Mm,
potential option. I think if I get to a certain level where I'm really comfortable with, my knowledge, and I get to a certain place, be able to teach in my own unique way. not necessarily reading music, but more with counting and feeling and being just more about the listening than it is like the technical, like, okay, those are eighth notes and these are this, more just kind of just free flowing. So that's also just to add in another avenue.
Cool.
At the right
Yeah, I
time.
could see you being a really good drum teacher. Making it fun and being clear about it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Screw notes. Bro, it's all about feel. It's about heart.
Yeah, it is. Oh, although, man, maybe one day I will get to reading notes. It is something that it always kind of haunts me. Like, man, maybe it'd be good if you read some notes. Maybe, so that might happen in the near future. We'll see.
Cool, man. It's awesome. Yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey, and it's cool to be able to stick with it. A lot of people come over to me by gigs and like, oh, I started drumming when I was like 11 and I did it for 2 years and then I dropped it and I wish I didn't,
Yeah.
It's like, here we are, 25, 27, and still doing it.
Yeah.
And getting better and better and gigging and teaching. Yeah, dude, it's pretty cool. The select few that stick with it are the ones that make it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's the name of the game, to never give up, to stick with it, to always learn, always challenge yourself, like you said, with the beat of the day. And you'll get to where you want to go.
Yeah. Most definitely, man. Most definitely. It's I think it's also a blessing. I think you mentioned you started playing when you were 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started a little bit later, but just the fact that we started at such a young age, and I feel like, I don't know for you, but I know for me, once I gravitated towards the drums, I knew that was it. I knew I was a drummer. I had this natural rhythm and heart, and it just was like, all right, that's it. I remember like playing piano and I did like a recital, whatever. Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I was like, 6 or something. I was like, yeah, that's not for me. Like, yeah, I'm not this piano player. Like my dad's a piano player and my sister is too, but I'm definitely not. But like, like I found like the drums. I'm like, yeah, like that's my instrument, man. Like I know I'm supposed to be a drummer. How was that like for you discovering?
Yeah, I'm that kid, I'm that kid that took the pots and pans in the kitchen and spread them all over the floor and took these wooden spoons and started banging on them when I was like 4 years old.
Wow.
I always say, like the story of Jacob and Isaac when they were in their mother's stomach and one would pass by a house of worship and it would kick, and then the other one would the other one would kick.
Yeah.
So every time my mom passed by a music store, I would kick. Like I was drumming in the womb. So like, yeah, I'm a drummer from birth. I mean, obviously I had to develop it, but yeah, I love drumming as a kid. I saw once in Manhattan this guy doing like a busking thing with the pots and pans, and that just lit my mind on fire. I was like, I can do that in my house, and I did that in my house. And my dad saw me doing that, and he picked up on it, and he bought me a drum set when I was about 5 years old.
Wow.
So from then I was obsessed with it. I would play drums all the time, and I had a good friend growing up, and he was also a drummer. So we would challenge each other and teach each other these cool tricks that we learned. So that was really important in my early drumming days, to have like a drum partner, someone who we can like level up together.
Yeah.
And there was a few times where I actually put down the sticks for a good year or two. I was either in high school where they didn't really have a drum set, or I was just busy with other stuff, and I kind of like got discouraged about the drums for a little bit, but I always came back. That's the thing. The drums were always calling within, like, bro, you're a drummer, you got to get back on it. And whenever I did get back on it, I got back even harder, even stronger, and more serious, until eventually it was just like, yeah, this is who I am. This is what I do, and I love it.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, to be honest, sometimes I even get discouraged now. Obviously it's not like I'm putting down the sticks for 2 months or even 2 weeks, but some days I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, should I really play the drums? I don't know. Like maybe I should do something else. But then it snaps right back, and it's like, nah, this is my heartbeat right here.
Yes, sir.
So I love it,
Yes,
and
sir.
I'll never put down the sticks.
Yeah. Well, good for you, bro. Good for you, man. Keep fighting, man. Keep fighting, bro. It's amazing. It's amazing, man. To never give up. Aim shum yush, as they say in Hebrew, and
Yeah.
to never give up, man. It's such a powerful, powerful mantra and statement. You know. What was your favorite, and then your favorite gig and your worst gig you ever played?
Okay. It's a good question. When you said favorite gig, I immediately just thought of the gig I played this past Thursday in Dallas, Texas. I got flown out to Texas to play a gig for the Chabad community of Frisco, Texas, and we played by the Cowboys practice stadium. So this is like a full-on football stadium, and we were in the front of the building, which is also kind of like a football field, and huge stage, biggest stage I've ever played on. Most people I've ever played for in front of, about 1,000 people, and it was a legit show, a legit gig. Yeah, it was big style. And so that was definitely up there. I mean, it's fresh in my mind, but that was the biggest gig I've ever played. I played with the Shefa Band, who are a super fun group. I'm sure you know those guys.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. So those guys are great. Just good energy, good vibes, just like celebration music, right?
Oh yeah, total good vibes, man. Those guys are great energy and high energy and beautiful people, man. Yes, sir.
Beautiful people. So it was great to be with them. It was great to be on a big stage like that and just see tons of people vibing out to our music, spreading a good message. So that was definitely up there with my favorite. And my least favorite gig ever, definitely one of my lesser, prouder moments, was at a festival where this was like a bunch of years ago when I was still doing drugs. And for some reason, I decided that it would be a good idea to get high right before my set. And I got high on stuff that does not, not simple stuff. It's stuff that sends your brain in a loop.
Yeah, right. It ain't weed.
And it didn't work. I got up there, and the music was not making sense to me. That like I was hearing sounds, but they weren't registering in my brain as music. It just sounded like distorted sound waves. And I'm sitting there on the drums like, what do I play to this? Like I don't know what to play. And I just like started playing like a basic 4/4 beat. And I don't know if I was with it or not, but the bass guy came over to me afterwards and he was pretty upset. So I'm pretty sure I was not on beat.
Oh man.
And that was definitely.
You went to La La Land, man.
I was in La La Land, bro, and I didn't even know if I was coming or going. The show itself felt like it was 5 minutes. I don't know. It could have been 2 hours, but I was just not present and not able to play properly. So I felt bad. I felt bad about that. I thought I'll get high before the show and I'll have energy and I'll be happy and I'll play. But that's the thing about drugs. They tend to do more damage than good.
Yeah.
And so that was a heavy lesson for me, and it took me some time after that to actually quit drugs. But that was that show for me was a big defining moment in my life where I had to look at myself and be like, bro, you're messing yourself up, and not only yourself, but you're messing with the show, you're messing with the other musicians. And you're messing with your drumming and your life. And so it was like a wake-up call for me. Like, I got to do something about this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's almost like in a sense, looking back, it was a blessing that you did that, because that was a stepping stone to get you to the next move, right?
Yeah, that's right. And there was a lot of things that came before that tried to teach me that lesson, that tried to kind of shake me up. Like, listen, drugs are not doing good for you. But when it hit my drumming, it was a different level of impact that it made on me. It was like, wow, okay, like now I can't even do what I love to do because drugs are getting in the way. Like maybe it's time to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotcha.
Wow, Jacob, great talking with you, man. This is awesome. We're this is I feel like we're jamming in the pocket right here, you know? Just two drummers collabing.
Yeah.
I miss actually jamming with you, man. I remember that one show we did on Hanukkah. Was it a Hanukkah show?
Yeah, it was a Hanukkah show.
Yeah, you were on percussion, I was on drums. That was a nice stage too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that was.
that was cool. And I want to close with a message. You know, we spoke earlier about having a message, you know, and so what is your message for anybody watching? What's your message as a drummer, as a musician, as a spiritual man in Israel?
Mm. In Israel. Yes, sir. Uh, oh man, there's a lot there. I think break it down as a drummer. You know, keep it real. As a drummer, keep it real on the drums. I think, you know, don't play anything that you can't play, and be mindful of the other musicians, and be real when you're out there. Keep it as real as you can when you're on the kit with yourself, with the musicians, you know. And my spiritual message would be to be able to be as aware as possible and be able to live your life with meaning and purpose, and with truth. I think if you look at the world today, there's a big lack in what truth is. And it's a whole discussion, but you got to find the truth for yourself, and you got to stick with it. You know, my name is Yaakov, and this, you know, they, as people know, Yaakov is truth, right?
Mm.
Titan Emet Liakov. So, you know, something I'm not perfect at, but I really try to work on is being truthful with yourself and with others. And I think if, you know, to all the viewers and people out there, try to be truthful to yourself, and that will bring you to the ultimate happiness, man.
Love it, man. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
sir.
sharing that. And thank you for coming on the Pocket Podcast, man. It's been real talking with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Till
Yes,
next
sir. Yes,
time,
sir.
Achi.
Yes, sir, brother. Much
Rock
love
on.
to you, brother.